Hi guys, welcome back to Codemaster Coach, your medical coding tutor. We are continuing our series on the 2019 ICD-10-CM coding guidelines, and we are down to 1B, 12, and 13. So let's look at 12 real quick. 12 says, reporting same diagnosis code more than once. Each unique ICD-10-CM diagnosis code may be reported only once for an encounter. This applies to bilateral conditions when there are no distinct codes identifying laterality or two different conditions classified to the same ICD-10-CM diagnosis code. So let's go right on into 13, where all of this will come together. 13 talks about laterality. And when we're saying laterality, we're talking about sides of the body, okay? And it says, some ICD-10-CM codes indicate laterality, specifying whether the condition occurs on the left, right, or is bilateral. So think of like a broken leg, and you're identifying the patient as a right broken leg. So your coding should specify which side of the body, or if it's bilateral, both sides. Now, if no bilateral code is provided and the condition is bilateral, assign a separate code for both the left and the right side. And if the side is not identified in the medical record, assign the code for the unspecified side. Going on, when a patient has a bilateral condition and each side is treated during separate encounters, then assign the bilateral code as the condition still exists on both sides, including for the encounter to treat the first side, and for the second encounter for treatment after one side has previously been treated and the condition no longer exists on that side, then you'd assign the appropriate unilateral one-side code for the side where the condition still exists. For example, if a patient is having cataract surgery and it's performed on each eye, but during separate encounters, which tends to happen quite a bit. In this case, the bilateral code would not be assigned for the subsequent. And remember, subsequent means when they come back and have a condition done. So subsequent, as the patient no longer has the condition in the previous treated site. Now, if the treatment on the first side did not completely resolve and the condition is still there, then the bilateral code would still be appropriate. All right, Codemaster Coach, explain to us what you're saying here. I'm saying, based on these guidelines, when you have a condition and they say it's on the right side, then make your code say right side or left side, or bilateral. If they say it's on a bilateral, look under the main term for that condition and look for bilateral. But if there is not a bilateral code, then code two codes, one for the right and one for the left. Okay? If a patient comes in for treatment of bilateral cataracts, and the first time they're coming in for the bilateral cataracts and they work with the right eye, when they come back the second time, it's no longer bilateral cataracts because they've already corrected this side. So then it becomes the left or the right eye, whichever eye they're treating that condition. So put it in layman's terms for us, Codemaster Coach. All right, I put together a little sheet again this time. And my sheet is this. Let's see if I can find it for you real quick. All right, laterality. Specify whether conditions occur on the right or left, or whether the conditions is bilateral. First thing. Now, if no bilateral code is provided, the condition is bilateral, and it is bilateral, assign separate codes for the left and right side. However, if the side is not identified in the medical record, assign a code for unspecified. And I've seen that quite a bit. They won't tell me. They'll just tell me patient has a fracture, and they don't tell me what. A lot of times I'll go to the x-ray and see what the x-ray says, right or left. Now, for example, webbed fingers. If it's unspecified hand, then I do, if you look up webbed, W-B-B-E-D, and it's unspecified, it will give you code Q70.10. If it's of the right hand, it's Q70.11. If it's of the left hand, it's Q70.12. And if it's bilateral, it's Q70.13. So take your time, look through your code books, look up webbed finger, and identify or imagine you having to code the laterality for a webbed finger and how, applying these rules, you would code them. Okay, guys? Any questions, email me at codemastercoach@gmail.com, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.